All right, what's up, rock stars? It's your buddy DA with the GA. Welcome to another episode of Gear Alchemy. Today, we are going to continue our sanding project on our Stratocaster. See you on the workbench. All right, I'm going to open this window here so we can get a lot more light in. Normally, I can't have this open because then you guys won't see me. All you'll see is a silhouette talking to you. Putting my safety glasses back on, just so you're aware, because we are going to be doing some sanding today. So I went over the whole guitar with 120. I ended up having to go backward actually and go back to 80 because when you sand down polyurethane, when you get down to a certain point, there's like this white, almost kind of like a transparent white glaze that's over the whole guitar, and yellowish. You can still see a little right there. And that stuff is it's so hard to get off. It's the last bit of like sealer and poly that kind of mix together. And the 120, I'd have been at it for forever to get it off. So I went down to 80 grit and hit both the front and the back. And then I brought it back to 120. And then today we're going to do some hand sanding with some 240 or 220? 220. Um, and then the sides, I did hit with a Dremel, which I did dig in a couple places, as you can tell. I actually smoothed it out a little bit with so I went over this with an 80 grit on the Dremel, and then I hit it with 120 and then 240. And so now we're going to come back and do some more hand sanding to kind of smooth it out a little bit more. As you can see, like, I think hopefully you guys can see that kind of right in that edge there. Don't worry about it if you do that, because remember, you're going to have to hit this with, higher and higher grits until everything is nice and smoothed out. So today we're just going to do some hand sanding. I'm not going to have you guys on the whole time. You don't want to watch me sand for 15, 20 minutes, but basically I'm just going to take a piece of 220. You can either fold it in half or leave it like this. And I'm just going to I think I'm gonna something like this. Now I'm just doing hand pressure, not going super hard or anything. Careful of your holes and stuff. This is where I can kind of hit this. I was talking about that in a previous video, that you don't want to hit that with the DA and then try to tilt the DA. Like that's how you end up, this turns into a flat spot. So because we're using hand, I'll hit that a little bit. Still not going to hit it hard, but let's try to clean up the corners a little. You can see with the right pressure, I mean, a little goes a long way. Yeah, I can already tell you I won't be able to do this very long. My hands can't take it. I'm old. Don't get old, folks. Oh, I did count it up. This is a 7-piece body. And this here is I didn't even know Fender did this, but this is a veneer on the front and the back. I kept looking at it. I was like, wow, like I'm not matching up the line there. So as you can kind of see, hopefully you guys can see that. Let's get the light in there a little bit. Yeah, so one piece here, well, one piece on the edge here, and then another piece here, another piece here, and then another piece here, and another piece here, and then a piece on the end there. And you can kind of see it here this way too. Line there, line there, line there. and then of course the veneer takes over. But yeah, I didn't know they did that. I didn't know they did like a veneer. So I don't know if you guys did, but I did not. Another option for this is you can get like those sanding sponges. And so that way they'll kind of contour a little bit. I'm not using any pressure as I do this right here. I don't want to flatten this out. So the same thing with the edges here. I just want to barely touch them. Kiss them. As you guys can see, I actually went through the veneer here a little bit. I'm not too worried about it because I'm going to do a solid color anyway. But if you're not, you might want to really consider how you hit those edges. Then just gonna take the sandpaper and kind of fold it in my hand, match the shape best I can anyway. Let's hold it this way. Go. And all we're trying to do is smooth out those areas where it got a little rough. And trying to get like I may something like that with a Dremel, high powered. And even if you do have like imperfections, something that I don't, I wouldn't go as far as say I recommend this, but I did do it last year. I bought a Shipson, if you will, but it was a Gretsch, a Tritch, a Grina. I don't know, whatever, however the hell you play the words on that. Like people say Chipson. I bought a Gretsch. It was made in China. That was a Billy Bow because I'm not paying Gretsch $3,500 for a Billy Bow, $3,800, whatever they are now. Because I'm not a huge Gretsch fan anyway, but I am a huge Billy Gibbons fan. So yeah, I bought this Billy Bow and it showed up almost literally in pieces. I mean, there were so many issues with it. So I got a hold of the company, and this is also why I don't recommend people buy stuff directly from China. But I got a hold of the company and they gave me my money back, half of it anyway, which is fine. I was good with that. I was like, look, I do painting and stuff anyway. So this isn't a huge deal for me, but the fact that I bought a guitar and the first thing I have to do is take it apart and paint it instead of play it, that's kind of a deal breaker for me. And they agreed. So they cut me a check and then I painted it. But when I got it sanded down, and the reason that is, by the way, the guitar was literally unplayable. Like the glue on the neck, and this is a bolt-on, but the glue on the neck, it was actually cracked right here. And the wood was cracked as well. I'm surprised the neck even stays on, to be honest with you. But then when they put the bridge pits in for the stop bar tailpiece and the bridge, the glue overran and went all over the body, and it's actually visible even with the paint now. It's visible. But anyway, where I was going with that story though, the first time I repainted it before I ran into issues and had to sand it down again, through no fault of my own, since you're watching me do sanding and painting. Like, man, I don't know if this guy. But yeah, I was curious if I could do this. I'd never done it before, and so I got what they call filler primer. Usually, that's what body shop guys use on cars. Use it on metal. And I was like, says filler. It's a primer. Is like, and I don't love this body anyway. So yeah, I used filler primer on it, and it worked. It was a very nice, smooth finish. The top looked great until the clear coat screwed it up. But um, so yeah, that's something you could do. Like I said, I wouldn't go as far as saying I recommend it. I don't know how long it would last or anything like that. Um, but that is something that I did, and it actually worked out rather well. So just be advised if you do have some imperfections that you can't quite get out, that is a possibility. Also, don't try to get everything perfect with this 220 because I mean we're going to move up to 320, um, and then on to I think 400 is what I have after that. So if you don't get it all with this, you just want to get it close, and then you can finish it up with the next one. So like I said, what we're trying to do is just smooth here, just smooth out rough stuff. Oh, and again, we're not doing anything in here except cleaning it out when we get dust in there. Keep in mind which direction you're moving the sandpaper and how you're moving the sandpaper does absolutely matter. Because basically you are shaping the wood. So angles, all that stuff matters. Try not to touch that for near top anymore than I have to. Okay, we're looking good. Sorry, hoping you guys can see everything I'm doing. I'm actually more focused on me seeing it and doing it rather than showing you guys. My bad. Okay, so we still got a few little nicks in there that maybe you can or can't see. Those smoothed out. And boom, it's that bad. Number 220 is still quite a cutter, so don't push too hard. Might be some kind of there's something there. It's more sanded. It seems like it is now. I may have to fill that in. Okay, I think that's about it for 220. Because now it's digging in quite a bit. I don't want to dig any further. It's okay. That's So that's what you're going to do. I'm going to repeat the same process with what I said, 320 and then 400. And by the time you get to 400, really even 320, by the time you get 320, you shouldn't really be taking away a whole lot of wood at that point. At that point, it should be, you should honestly be about ready to paint it. Like you should be able to look at it, especially, after, wipe it down again with mineral spirits, not denatured alcohol, not Windex or whatever kind of cleaner, not Pledge, um, mineral spirits. So wipe it down again, look for imperfections, and then by that point you should only be doing like maybe like fine scratches and stuff like that, because 320 isn't going to dig in very deep. Holy crap, this is good enough, I could paint it right now. But you're not going to do that. We're going to hit it again with 320, going over it even lighter, just trying to smooth things out still, and then the 400. And then if you want, go all the way to 600, 500, 600. But typically I stop at 4, just because up to 400 is usually what I have laying around the garage anyway. I don't typically go higher than that, but you can. Anyway, all right. And if you're doing this at like your workstation, some kind of plastic bags. I should have probably put this inside of a box too. That way I can just pick up the whole box and walk away with it, empty it out outside. This way I'm actually going to have to like try to fold these up, and it's not a big deal, but just FYI. Because you're going to be doing your other guitar stuff in this area, so you want to make sure to be able to keep it at least somewhat clean, which is hard to do when you're sanding. I actually the same thing like what I did in the first video. The only reason I did this here was so that you guys could see it. I would have preferred to have done this in the garage where I did the rest of the sanding. So that's where I'm actually going back. I'm going to turn this off and I'm going to go back down to the garage with the 320 and the 400, and finish up the sanding down there. Yeah. Anyway, if you guys got any questions or anything, if there's anything I'm leaving out, by all means, feel free to shoot me a message on here or comment, and I'll be happy to answer. But otherwise, happy sanding. All right. See you guys on the next video. All right. Welcome back. It has been, I don't know, like a week. I've been hitting this every now and again as I get, time, day off. Hindsight, what I probably should have done instead of having like all these breaks in between, chop it up to just being a new guy trying to create content. But I probably should have like done this project on its own, recorded all the videos, like through the whole thing, like painting it, everything, and then just released it, either all at once or, at least then I have a video every week I could release or whatever. But yeah, anywho, that's our final draft, I guess. I can't think of the word right now. That's our final product, I guess. After all of the going all the way up to 400 grit, keeping in mind again, I didn't touch in here. Do not touch in here. I didn't touch in here, primarily because I'm gonna, if I go down this rabbit hole that I plan to correctly, I'm gonna be painting this white anyway. Again, I'm just not gonna paint it the same white. It was like just the standard Fender white. It's just white. I think it might be called Arctic white, but I thought Arctic white has like metallic flake in it. It was just a standard white, Olympic white maybe. So what I want to do is I want to paint this in I really do is a pearl white with like some color change in there. We'll see if that happens that way, but that's my plan. So maybe like some shifting into like some purples or reds or greens or blues or something. Blue would be cool. I don't know if they have that, but I'm sure they do. But yeah, that's my plan. In any case, so yeah, I took it all the way to 400. I do have one little area right here that's still got a little bit as I feel it. It's not perfectly smooth. That's okay though. I'm going to use primer filler on it anyway, so not a big deal. So yeah. So yeah, now you can see it probably a little bit better. Now we do have 7 pieces. I think I mentioned that in a previous cut of this. But 7 pieces of wood that made up this. You can't tell from this because it's of course a veneer. But if you look at the ends, hopefully you guys can see there was enough light for that. Yeah, piece here, piece here, piece here, piece here, piece here. And then how I got to 7, if you're curious, is because even these end pieces are separate pieces here and here. So that's how I ended up with 7. Anyway, I'm happy with it. So the next thing we will do, I'm gonna tape all this off before I paint, and then I'm gonna put Probably primer filler is what I'm going to hit this with. And I'll show you guys how to do that. That's the plan anyway. And then we'll go from there. Okay. Thanks for tuning in.